Welcome to Arcade Audio.
Is it coming?
To feel all our
Yes.
feelings.
6, 7, 8.
525,600 MusiPals. 525,600 MusiPals.
Nailed it.
Oh, I thought it didn't do it so many times. 600
You can learn the
MusiPals.
song better.
What did you think of the musical? So good.
Wow, Dan, once again, you
And then
really
I do
nailed
that
it.
fade. But the fade is just me turning the volume down on my phone.
That's a good fade.
It works super well.
Goodness gracious.
So that's how we start the show, and it is always that bad. Hey everybody.
You mean that good?
That good. That's
That
right.
good.
That good. Hey everybody, welcome to the MusiPals. We're so glad to have you in our studio audience.
Wow, look at that live
No.
studio audience go.
They're just screaming like they're on a roller coaster. for
Beautiful
some reason.
people. You love us so much. We love you right back.
Well, this is, of course, the MusiPals. It is a podcast about musicals for our MusiPals. And I am your dying AIDS baby.
Be careful.
That didn't work. I'm your sweet angel,
Aw, that's
Pal.
a good one.
Musanoob
I'm
Dan.
your music nerd, Katie.
That's all.
Today we have a beautiful, wonderful, just a beautiful
Keep
fairy
rolling.
queen
You're too kind.
as our guest today.
Comic, lover,
Yeah.
wonderful woman. I don't know.
Oh, thank you.
My Wonder Woman.
Oh, you're my Wonder Woman. My Supergirl.
Yeah, so Megan, you want to introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah,
We're gonna flirt
I'm
for a few more
Megan.
minutes first.
I'm Megan. I'm
Great start.
super into musicals, which is what you guys seem to be talking about.
Yes.
Sort of, a little bit.
Yeah, did musicals for pretty much my entire life. I met you two crazies in improv.
That's right.
Yeah.
Actually, the part of the reason, like one of the inspiration points for this show was when the two of you were like doing a scene. It was when we were in that weird other place for our classes. You know, we're not when the Second City burned down.
When the fire happened.
You guys were doing like
fire.
the
Yeah.
fire. Yes. You guys are
Great
doing
fire.
The Great Fire.
the Great Chicago
2000.
Fire back in the 1800s. You guys were doing like a bank robbery scene. But the whole idea was to do a thing, but talk about something completely different. And the two of you were talking about musicals while robbing a
true.
bank.
We did.
my
I
gosh.
think we talked about like cabaret or something
Yeah.
super random.
And I was like, I have
A
no
winning
fucking idea
show.
what's going on here. Wait a minute.
Wait.
We might be onto something.
We're having
True.
fun.
What did you do? Would you consider yourself an actor, comedian? What? All of it?
I consider myself a stripper.
Okay. Like a little Rosario Dawson.
She's not wrong.
I'm not wrong. No. I guess just musical theater person.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
I would love to say comic, but I do not do stand up. I
Yeah, that's
refuse
fair.
to do it.
Yeah, I call myself a comedian sometimes, and I'm like, that's not accurate. I just say things about farts on stage. That's pretty much. I'm a fart talker. That's what I
You
am.
do. I'm pretty sure you did a fair amount of fart jokes. in our
Yeah, I
class.
mean, that's the easiest. It's cash money.
Everyone loves a good fart joke.
Who does?
Yeah.
Every show needs at least one
At least
good
one.
fart joke.
Are you guys
or
cool?
like a poop thing.
Yeah.
Are you guys cool with like throughout this show I just edit in fart noises? Is that
Yeah.
cool with you?
Yeah.
No
All right.
problem.
All right, great.
Right now, do one.
I think that's not disrespectful at all to this musical, right?
That's a good point. So yeah, if you didn't gather from the incredible, just the sweet stylings of your musa noob Dan, the show we're doing is Rent. Hey, very excited. Oh, I was going to say, Megan, the way we all met is through improv at Second City. And Megan remains my girlfriend Liv's favorite person in our class, including me. It was so funny. We were leaving one of our shows, and she goes, "Yeah, it was so good, blah, blah, blah. I loved that that psychic girl, the girl that did the psychic character." And she was like, she was my favorite. And I was like, other than me, right? And she's like, uh-huh. Yeah.
Sorry. That's such a random character to
I know,
like. I'm not
loved it.
proud of that one, but
She
thank
loved
you.
it. So that's what you're forever known in our household.
Wonderful.
So, yeah, there you go.
I love it.
that one show will forever immortalize you.
Yeah. Well, because after that, I think I was Telemundo girl for a while.
Oh,
in our
God,
Level
yeah.
D show.
That was a good one.
Tell
Oh,
him
no.
that was always fun.
Dos. Tres.
Maria.
Well, the way we usually start these is before we talk about the show, we, talk about everybody's favorite subject, us.
Us.
It's a
MusiPals
life for us. It's a
MusiPals
life for us.
Just so you know, Katie just winked at me
Ooh.
very seductively.
It's not a problem.
Machi.
I just mentioned to you guys before, but I'm now a preschool teacher. Pretty proud of it.
That's great. That's gotta be great.
That is
I'm
amazing.
listen, I'm very excited, mostly because I got my one kid to stop peeing his pants during nap time. It was a problem.
Oh, it was during nap time?
It was during nap, because
Ay.
I'm in like the potty training class, and my kids are very verbal when they're awake. Like, I need to go potty. I'm like,
Yeah, okay.
all right, go to your business.
That's the worst word, by the way, pot. Like, I know
Potty.
you have to use it for kids, but it's terrible.
I don't like it.
When
It's
people say
uncomfortable.
that-
I'm like, go sit on the john then,
Yeah,
or like
go,
something. But
go
I
to the
can't.
bathroom.
It's
Go
the
to the
worst.
bathroom.
Head to the can, kid.
You know. But my one kid was he was very verbal when he's awake, but during nap time, it was a waterfall every day. And
The Yellow River flows.
I would have to change his entire outfit. I don't know how it managed to get onto like his shirt.
Hey.
Because he was lying down and it
Yeah,
rolled.
yes,
Poor
but
kid.
I just had to change him every day.
That's so
And then
sad.
this week, he took 2 naps and did not pee himself.
Wow.
And I was just very, very.
Is this
it was
the
accomplishing.
Very proud of him.
is this the
Yeah.
same kid that sprints at your nether regions?
Yeah, he
every-
runs into my
What's
uterus
his
every
name?
day. His name is Alexander S. Because I have 2 Alexanders.
Alexes are always
Oh,
weirdos.
That's right. Take me back home.
Yeah.
Let me-
I also have a cutie pie. Her name is Fiona, and she's
like the
a
Shrek
little Miss
character.
Diva.
But the name like Fiona though.
I know. I thought she was gonna be that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, not to talk bad about kids, but like I thought she was gonna be that fucking kid.
I thought you were gonna say that bitch.
You know, like,
She was gonna be
I
that
wanted
bitch.
to. I wanted to. But I feel
Oh yeah, this
bad.
podcast
It's a
has an
small
explicit
child.
tag.
she's
She's
2 and a
that
half. No,
bitch.
she's 3. And well, she's so extra. But I have come to love that about her. Like every time we
I
go for
almost
a
spit wine
walk,
everywhere.
every time we go for a walk, she's like, "Miss Megan, can I get my sunglasses?" And I was like, "Yeah, but why do you need them?" I need to look fabulous
Oh,
for our walk. And I'm like,
jeez.
Fee.
Fee.
So
Fee fi fo
cute.
fum.
Fee gets it.
She's
She's
just
gonna be a fashion
adorable.
Fee
blogger.
get about it.
Yeah.
Yikes. That
pretty great.
sounds tough. That sounds like tough to
Yeah.
do.
What else is going on?
Yeah. Anything been going on lately, entertainment wise? Or
Yeah, actually. I will be. So Katie actually performed with my musical sketch comedy group, Clown Car to Sicily, a while
Oh,
back.
nice.
Hell yeah.
Which was fun.
I'm glad that's still going.
Yeah.
It's been going for a while.
It
right?
has been since I pretty much moved here, and it's been fun. But as a group, we kind of sat down recently, not to totally take a serious turn, but
Oh.
we sat down as a group recently to discuss Sketchfest and everything that's been going on with like Brian Posen and like because Sketchfest is like his. From my understanding, it's like his festival that he kind of created.
What did he do? Don't tell me he did. He's an assaulter.
Yeah. Did you not read
Fuck.
any of this?
No, I didn't hear about Brian Post. There's
Where the
so
fuck
much.
have you been?
There's so
Like,
much.
come on, though.
It's like swimming through
It's
a sea
everywhere.
of assault.
He's not like in Chicago anymore though.
Yeah, because he stepped down from 773.
No, I meant Dan.
Oh man.
Oh, that's
But
true.
also-
Yes, but he stepped down from 773, and everyone's kind of protesting the festival. But we as a group decided to stick with the festival, you know, and just kind because we've been doing it for years, And so we're gonna stick with festival, and I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna write some kind of ridiculous sketch and address the subject.
Oh, wow.
Like head on and
Yikes.
be like, we understand why everyone's protesting it. However,
That's a great way to do it.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. Like,
So-
we're doing this, and I think I've always said the best way to bring light to difficult issues is with comedy. So.
yeah. So I think we're gonna do something like that, but that'll be coming up in January, which is fun.
Oh, that's awesome. You've done Sketchfest a few times, right?
I want to say 3.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and we did Nerdfest. That's the one that Katie helped us out with. She killed it, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
What
God.
did
Look at her face.
Stop it.
It's so good.
What did you do?
She
Tell me.
did. So Katie was with us because Nerdfest is like, I would say, our baby.
Okay.
We're in it every year, and it's just, we're a nerdy group anyway, so it's what
Does it pee its pants while it sleeps?
Be nice to Alexander.
You were Alexander S. I'm so sorry.
To the
He's
parents of
gonna grow up and
Alexander
be
S.
listening to this.
Watch his parents be a fan of your guys, and then they're just like, oh,
We are taking him out of that school.
I would get fired. No, but Nerdfest is a big deal for us, and we always manage to get televised for it. So we were on
that's awesome.
Fox News, and
The local
what's the
Fox
other one?
News,
Yeah,
not the terrible
not the terrible,
national
no.
Fox News.
I would not
Right.
do that. And then what was it, Katie? What did
I don't know.
WGN. That was it.
Oh, wow.
We did WGN.
That's awesome.
And Katie managed to get like the 30-second solo within the thing that we did, and she
Ooh.
just nailed it.
Killed
and I
it?
was just like standing behind her like, that's my girl. Like, I was
Got
so
it.
happy.
Katie, I wish the audience could see this. Katie's just looking so bashful right now. Like,
I'm so bashful.
I don't know how to take this
With that little
compliment, even though
smile. Look at her.
It's just
Right.
nice to
even though she
say.
fucking does know how to take a compliment.
I
Just
mean,
kidding.
It was fun.
Thank you.
It
Yeah.
was fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't
It
know.
was so fun.
It's cool that you guys are doing some crossover stuff.
we
Yeah.
did a fun sketch.
Which one?
It was my favorite. That was like a compilation CD. And I was
Oh,
the announcer.
Power Ballads,
and then
yeah.
Megan did a bunch of different impressions.
Yeah,
It was amazing.
it was
Oh.
something really stupid that me and my friend Annie wrote one day.
It's so
Nice.
funny.
And it was like, you know those infomercials where you're selling like CDs from like the
Oh, yeah.
90s and the 80s? like
The Now 5?
Yeah, like Now 5.
Now 122.
Yeah. Well, so I wrote this thing where it was like, how do I describe
For
it?
like, it was like a strong woman.
yeah,
CD.
like powerful woman, because we did it
Alright.
for Women's
Power
Funny
ballads.
Fest as well.
Oh, cool.
And it was power ballads, and I just like redid the words. So we did like I will always love you,
Uh-huh.
and I changed it to I won't always love you.
Ooh, there you go.
You know, like I
Nice.
don't have to.
No, okay.
It's okay
Yeah.
that I don't love you
Nice.
as much as I did once. And then
Shakira was the best.
Yeah, we did. I did Shakira.
I'm on tonight. or
Whenever,
whatever.
wherever.
Oh,
That song,
whenever,
whenever,
wherever.
Yeah.
Yes. Whenever we be together.
Yeah. And
I do a great Shakira.
Katie and I had this moment where, because I talked about how like.
being one thick bitch.
Yeah, being like one thick bitch is pretty amazing, and
All right.
like I'm proud of my thunder and my thighs. And Katie and
The
I,
thunder in my
yeah,
thighs.
and Katie and I at some point just both slapped our thighs when that lyric
On thunder.
came. On thunder.
It was
And we
great.
just went, and the crowd just
That's awesome.
We had a
ate
great
it
time.
up.
Those
It
are the
was a
best
good
moments
time.
in improv shows when you're just like, we just fucking did that. And we did it, like, that was awesome.
It was pretty fantastic.
That's great.
That was my favorite.
It was too
sketch
fun.
as well. It was a lot of fun.
nice.
Yeah,
Well, that's awesome. I'm really glad you're still doing stuff.
I'm glad you're still doing stuff.
I'm
Dan.
pretty much not. You'll find out soon that I'm pretty much not.
I don't know if your fans know this about you, but you have the most miraculous
hair.
beard. I wasn't gonna hit the hair yet, but if you want to go there, I mean,
Dan's haircut.
It's not a haircut. I did it as
Dan
a goof.
just got a haircut that he planned
I
out
didn't. I haven't
and
got a
wanted
haircut in
really
months.
bad. And
he looks like an emo
looks
teenage
like a
girl.
true emo teen at Hot
I'm
Topic.
taking my mics and going
Yeah,
home.
he's like
I don't
going to
need
Hot
this.
Topic and buying those
He
band
is
T-shirts.
going to Hot Topic and he
I
is
do
getting
have-
Green Day shirts and armbands.
And
And he is wearing
checkered
like
belt.
studded,
spiky bracelets.
studded
Yeah.
belts,
studded belts and checkered shoes, Vans.
checkered Vans.
Yeah. Well, great. What's going on in your MusiPals life, Katie?
My MusiPals life is wonderful. I just got back from New York and I did a show as part of SoloCom at the Pit.
Ooh.
And it was so amazing and so fun.
It was a Trump show.
It was
All
a Trump
about
show
Trump. It was really
where I
Wow.
played Donald Trump
Yes.
and made fun of him
That's
a lot.
sexy Trump. I would support
Thank
that.
you.
Trump.
It wasn't like I didn't do a costume or an impression or like I wasn't like an orange monster.
Right.
It was just me. It was like, hi, I'm Donald Trump.
By the way,
I
And
kind of wish
I'm
that
ridiculous.
was the real Trump. If he just came out and was just like, hey, I'm Donald Trump.
I mean, if I were Donald Trump, we'd be in a very different situation
Yeah.
politically.
yes, we would. That was awesome though. I got a chance to like help her. I just edit it just
Yeah.
like a little tiny bit, and
gave me some fun jokes.
Aw.
the Lorne Michaels bit. She did this thing where Donald Trump was like, sure, this was his audition for SNL. Oh my God, it's so good.
He's so delusional
Yes.
that I felt like, I don't know. The whole show was answering the question, like, what would happen if Donald Trump wrote a one-man show?
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
And so it's like making fun of one-man shows a little bit. And so he's so delusional that, like, he would be sure that, like, he would get on SNL from this.
Yeah.
And so,
And Lorne was in the audience. I don't know what he looks like, but he's
but
out
I
there
assume it's you.
somewhere.
And I, like, pointed to a guy, and he loved it. And he was like, I'm Lorne Michaels.
That's awesome.
It's like, hell yeah, you are.
Nice. And
Anyway.
they asked you back, right? Well,
Not
Not that you maybe
officially,
can't.
but someone
Yeah.
talked to me after. So we'll see what happens. I'd love to.
yeah.
Exciting.
That's
but
how
I'm
Jerry
gonna submit
Seinfeld
it
got on
around
the Today
Chicago
Show.
too.
so.
Where in
What?
New York was that?
2 weekends ago.
Oh, okay.
1 weekend ago. 2 weekends ago.
Okay.
A little bit ago. Anyway,
Yeah, it
it
was
was
a while
very
ago.
fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to do it more.
Yeah.
But I'm also hoping that like just he gets impeached before I can.
Well, then we could just you could just
We'll see
continue
what
with the shit.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
that.
Nice.
And besides that, I got to go home for Thanksgiving, which was fun.
That's great.
Oh, that's exciting.
San Fran.
Gonna go to San Fran.
San Fran.
Oh, I saw those pictures. You and your mom are so. Ugh, you and your mom
My
are
mom
so cute.
and I are twins.
A classic,
It's scary.
classic Lorelai and Rory
To
situation.
be honest.
No, but have you seen her mom? They like.
We're
I've
That's
seen
gonna
pictures.
be Katie when she's older.
like that's me.
It's
me
so,
now.
It's incredibly scary.
It's
got
gotta be good to know.
Mother and daughter
It's
look that much
me
alike.
now.
It's
She's
gotta be good
very
to know.
cute. I'm
she
excited.
There
is.
you
She's
go.
the cutest.
She's a cutie pie.
If I look
Yeah.
anything like my dad, who at 65 years old, he's doing well, but if I look anything like my dad, you.
Oh yeah, boy, yeah.
Oh, that's
Like everyone
Just
in my
kidding, Dad. Love
family
you.
has the same face though.
Hell
Like my
yeah.
brother and I have the same exact face. He just has stubble, and I wear mascara. And
How do you know he
sometimes
doesn't?
you're right. When I see him, he doesn't.
You know what I mean?
And like we were looking at old family pictures in the hallway, and like my grandma has the same exact face, and my grandpa has the same. Like everyone in our family has the same exact face. It's like true like Greek.
You guys do face swap and like
Great.
nothing happens.
My
It's like,
brother
we're
and I
just
did a
the same.
face swap literally, and it was just me with
Just the
stubble.
same.
Like it's so fucking freaky. I'm
so
sorry I
amazing.
swore. It's very freaky.
No, I decided we're gonna just do that.
And
Like,
we're just an
fuck
edgy
it. We tried
podcast.
to like
Yeah.
we tried to like cut back because the first episode I was like fuck like, all the time, and we're like let's scale it back a little, and now I'm just like fuck it, whatever.
That's so funny.
Who cares?
Just like fuck it.
Ben and I swapped faces once.
Oh no.
That was for Ben's my boyfriend.
Mhm.
He's a lovely human.
I did level A with him
Yeah, and he
Oh,
still
really?
has.
before I switched to your guys'
Yeah,
class.
and he has a
Oh.
picture of your class with
Yes,
you and him in it,
with our
and
teacher.
it's one of his favorite pictures.
Yeah, it was a cute pic.
That's
yeah.
sort of adorable that he has a favorite picture.
Well, yeah,
I just
'cause-
like to look back at this picture.
Well,
It's
no,
so
it's
sweet.
because he's like so goofy in it, and then I saw Katie
He's such
in
a
it.
sweet boy.
Yeah, he really is. And I saw Katie in the picture, and I was like, "I'm sorry, how do you know my friend
Stop
Katie?"
the presses.
And he was just like, "I'm pretty sure I met her first. And I was like, "Level A means nothing. How do you know my friend?"
I mean,
Like, I was so. It was just
Answer
so
me.
crazy. But we did the face swap thing, and it's horrifying. Because not only am I mixed, he's white, and then
Right.
he's got like glasses, and it's just the weirdest face. So I was truly horrified.
Yeah, I can imagine that doesn't look great.
It was not pretty. I was like, if this was me as a person, I'd probably off myself because it's
Yeah.
just not.
when
It's not a fun
probably
sight.
off myself. When Liv and I do it, we look exactly just like a leprechaun. Like we just are a leprechaun. Here it is, because like only the bottom of my beard gets in it, so it looks like the leprechaun has a chin strap beard, so it's like a douchey leprechaun that like is really
Oh
into
my
Dave Matthews
gosh.
Band.
Your beard is my favorite beard.
Funny.
though.
Thank you.
It's a
Yeah,
wonderful
he's-
beard.
By the way, I wanted to say I specifically got this wine because it is Dave Matthews wine.
really, Which tree? What the fuck, Daniel?
It's called Dreaming Tree. It's called
is.
Dreaming Tree
It's
Crush.
I know
Well,
nothing
no,
about
there's-
Dave Matthews Band.
There is a little
Hey, oh,
the, so
hey.
it's called the
Dreaming Tree
Crush California Red Wine 2015.
Oh, a
It's
vintage
aged.
15.
Do you guys think that we could switch this to a Dave Matt? We make that joke. I make that joke so often, changing this podcast to something else, and I just was about to say,
If we were changing it to Westworld, yes.
oh my God. All right. Are you
Did
done
you
with
finish
your,
it?
Are you done with your MusiPals Life?
Yeah, I'm done with movies. Well,
So my MusiPals Life is super exciting. I do nothing, and I have done nothing for the last 2 months, other than watch fucking television. And
That's
I don't
a
know.
lot of time though.
yeah, it is.
To watch some good TV.
Yeah, to
that's
dig
some
in.
dedicated time.
Yeah, it's super depressing. I hate my life. No, anyway, I'm really excited to tell you this, Katie. I watched Westworld. So in our last
so
episode,
you talked to me before you finished it. You were like
Yes.
3 episodes left.
So Katie could not stop talking about Westworld.
I
in one
still
of our
cannot stop talking
episodes.
about Westworld.
I don't know.
You
what that
need
is.
to
It's
go
a show.
now, and we're done recording, and you need to go on to Westworld
Here,
What is
here's
it?
my
and
argument.
watch it with Ben.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. It's so good, and Dan sucks.
So I want you to
don't
know.
I'd
listen
buy
to
that.
anything
I'd
I've
you
buy
say.
purposely
that.
been saving this little treat for you. I'm so excited.
I'm about to be so mad.
So I watched all of Westworld,
I hate you.
and I binge watched it. It was fine. It's just a fine show.
You're
But what is it
so
about?
wrong.
What is
It's like robots and shit.
It's the coolest show ever, and you're
And
awful.
but wait, but let me. This is gonna be so sweet. I got to the second to last episode, and I purposely, out loud, actively said, "I'm not gonna watch the finale just to make Katie mad." I still haven't watched the
Katie's
finale.
face.
I am seething.
I have no idea what happened.
There's steam coming out of my ears.
Katie's eyes have never been more wide.
He succeeded. I am so mad.
I knew you would be so mad about it.
Oh, I wish people could see the face. It's so great when Katie gets mad.
Literally, why?
Because you'd be mad. I won't. It's the same reason I won't watch Benedict Cumberbatch films, just because people are like, "Why the fuck?" I
Oh,
won't.
but he's
I'm
really
into-
cool.
I'm
Oh
fine
yeah, he
with
seems
that.
like a great actor.
I don't
Like,
know about it.
There was actually so he was Smaug in The Hobbit, right?
I have seen that
But
technically,
the
but I don't
cool
count it.
thing was I watched the video of him like
Oh, like doing it.
doing it.
Yeah, that was
and
actually
it's
really
fucking
cool. The guy seems badass. I just won't watch his movies.
I get it. I for the longest
As
time
a
been
rule.
saying
That makes no sense.
I
I'm
won't
so
fi-
mad at you.
I want to. I'm gonna start introducing myself. Hi, my name is Dan. I won't watch Benedict Cumberbatch films, and I won't finish Westworld.
I hate you. I hate you.
oh, Katie's gonna cry.
Sorry, Megan. I
No.
interrupted you.
I was gonna say I've been for the longest time trying to tell myself that I was gonna watch Sherlock,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and I haven't.
Yeah. It's just that seems real
You know,
boring.
and
watched the
and that
first
other
one, and it
the
was boring
imitation
and,
game
like-
that he did.
Oh yeah.
Never
Yeah,
watched
I'd
it,
love to see
though.
it, but I can't.
Yeah.
'Cause I'd love to see Doctor Strange. I can't
Oh,
do
I
it.
don't think I'd. And I'm a Marvel DC
can't.
person, but I don't think Doctor Strange.
I think it
ever,
looks cool.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's not
Did
what
you
this
see
is
the new
about.
Avengers
Not yet.
thing?
Oh, the trailer. It
The
was pretty
trailer?
fucking sweet.
It's pretty fucking sweet.
Pretty sweet.
I saw that.
Did you guys see that new Broadway thing?
I saw that too.
There's lots of Broadway things.
Megan, you're really transcending our interests here between Katie and I.
I'm sorry.
No,
No,
like
it was
bridging
great.
that.
I really saw it. Alex showed it to me.
The other thing I just learned about recently that I think is the sort of definitive fact that humanity is doomed.
Yeah.
I just ran into the
We're done.
sock slider. Have you heard about this?
The what?
The sock slider. It's just it's a little sort of contraption that you put a sock around so that you no longer have to put your own sock on your dumb foot.
What does that
What?
even
No.
mean?
Yep. I saw that and I said, "This is the worst, and humanity is doomed." Like, what the fuck? You have to put the sock on the thing, and then you put your foot in the thing, and then your sock is on.
Does it like alleviate having to like bend over?
So,
or, like, what
so
does it, do
was
for
made
you?
for like older people who can't do that. But
Okay.
now it's just they're just selling it widely, and people are buying it.
Well, there are
There are
old
a lot,
people
of, a lot
everywhere.
of old people in places.
Yeah, but like that's fine. But like they're selling it at Walgreens, for instance. I saw it.
Old people shop at Walgreens.
You know what? I think we should just eradicate all the old people. Oh boy.
Why did you just say
I'm pretty sure he wants to get rid of all.
What a face! You just, huh? I don't think that. Old people are wonderful. I don't have any grandparents, but they were wonderful. They're all dead.
Oh wow!
Yikes.
I'm getting too.
Guess who did it? I got one big guess. Who's their
It was
grandson,
me.
Dan?
All right, should we jump in?
Yeah, let's jump in.
Cool.
I'm so mad at you.
I know it.
So we decided to talk about Rent in December too, because so much of this musical centers around Christmas. And so this is our little holiday episode for you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
but Mark's
so-
Jewish too, so it's like a holiday show. For
Absolutely.
No reference of Hanukkah though. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's right. No way. This will be our our December episode. So
Yeah.
happy holidays to everybody, no matter what you celebrate.
Yes.
But happy holidays to everyone. Really, thank you
Happy
so much for listening.
holidays.
Hopefully, you have some great time with your family or friends or
Yes.
both. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to say about it?
No, that's it.
So, how do you feel about Rent?
I have a lot of mixed feelings about it, just because I was in it, and I've watched it.
Who did you play?
I was
Like chorus or? what were you
Yeah,
actually-
I was
okay.
ensemble. I was Mrs. Cohen, which I thought was a very strange choice. Being a Jewish mom.
Could be though. Like, you
Mark's
could
mom.
be.
I mean, yes.
Okay.
So if you know the musical, it's the voicemails and all
Mhm.
that. And then homeless people.
I feel like you could do a Jewish mom pretty well.
Oh, thanks.
Mark.
Oh yeah, pretty much. That's how I did it. It was pretty much like,
That
call
was
your
very
mother. You know what I mean?
I hope you enjoy the hot plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Leave it on, dear. When you leave the house. Oh, and Mark. It's like, it was pretty much how that went.
Nice. All right, so you were in it. How do you feel about it?
Being in it's fun.
Okay.
I will say being in it is a lot of fun, especially when you keep to that tradition of a small cast.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I saw it at a college that did it with at least 20 people in it, and it made no sense
Oh.
as to why they had that many people.
Yeah. I can imagine there's really no need for it other than like maybe one like large scene, which is the song Rent. That's like the only
Even
time
then,
It's for
maybe.
colleges
It's-
to like get more students.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
it's
it.
just it's very, very strange. But we did it the traditional way with only like a handful of people. I liked being in it. Watching it is a little strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different experience, I feel.
Were you? I would imagine no, but were you in it before you watched it, or you watched it like?
I was in it before I watched a live version of it.
Oh, okay.
So I had seen the movie.
Okay.
Which I know a lot of people are against, but I don't hate it.
Oh, okay.
I don't. I think
All
I think it's fair. You
Yeah.
know, you can't take everything and adapt it into film.
That's true.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's some things you got to keep out. And
All right.
I thought it was whatever.
So you're just sort of neutral on the show overall.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I am. I liked being in it, but watching it, there are just so many things that I question, and I'm like,
Oh.
wait, how did I not get that when I was in it?
Yeah, I was the same
know?
way for the show Annie, so you can see how superficial my
Who
brain
were
is.
you in Annie?
I was a butler and also
With a beard like that?
I know I
Did
did
you
have a beard.
shave?
I didn't have it at the time. I was just a
Oh.
little boy.
I was really hoping you were gonna tell me you were like Daddy Warbucks.
That would be amazing.
That would be really great.
I was also like a what are they? The Hooverville Santa Claus, which they made up for me.
That's so
Um,
I
cute.
want you to be Rooster though.
Oh,
that?
you would have
Rooster's
been
the
a
name,
cute
right?
Rooster. Yeah, Rooster
don't
was
know.
Hannigan's brother.
The like shitty guy.
I was in Annie too. I was
Oh.
Lily.
I don't know. I don't remember.
She
it.
was the Rooster's girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway,
pretending
I
he
was
was
in the
there.
show and I was like, I don't really understand what's fucking happening here because I've never seen Annie before.
I know this is not about Rent, but can I just say Annie makes me very upset because back in those days there were children who were not in a building with food being fed to them and stuff like that, and these orphans are sitting there whining
Living the
about
high life.
There are not life.
That
and
is
I'm
a
like,
problematic-
You have shelter and food.
There are starving children in Africa.
Sound like Miss Hannigan.
I know I do, but it's true.
You know, shockingly, a musical about starving kids in Africa just isn't going to sell somehow.
So they did a bunch of white kids
Yeah,
in New York.
exactly.
That was great.
the patriarchy,
The
man.
revival was
Blanny.
All right,
Sorry to
anyway,
put it
Rent.
out there.
diverse.
So you're
Anyway.
so you're generally neutral about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Very neutral.
Okay. Cool.
I have
Okay.
a lot of thoughts.
All right. Well, we can't wait to
Yeah,
hear
there's
them.
a lot of feelings.
Katie, how do you feel about it?
I was so obsessed with Rent in high school.
I feel like that's a thing.
I was so upset. I know every second of the Broadway recording. I saw the movie first. That was my first introduction, and then I listened to it, and then I saw the touring company.
So you've
with the
never seen
official
Rent
tour.
before? So this is the first time.
So
you've
this
seen
was my
Rent.
first experience. I have a very controversial opinion about Rent. I think the movie is much better than the Broadway show.
Whoa, sick burn.
I think that the Broadway show is too long and boring.
Whoa, that's
And
you saying that? That's usually me saying
Everyone
that.
disagrees with me,
Yeah.
but I think the movie does a very good job of like telling the story, but in a fun, interesting way.
And in a more constructed way, I
Yeah,
feel.
and
You
also
also
like
have- I
everyone's
just
a
want-
good singer.
I just really quickly want our audience to know that you, as you say this, you sort of got a sassy head turn kind of going back and forth.
Because I feel
So
like I
I
need to
just-
defend myself because everyone loves like the movie
If
is
you
so
say-
shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, no,
It's not.
The Broadway play is so long and so boring.
Huh.
And I was in
Yeah.
it, and I was in it, and like it is fun to be in it. But I also like there was such drama surrounding the production that I was in, and people were so mean to me. Like, people bullied me so hard for
Jeez.
getting cast in it
Wait,
because I
who
was a
were you?
freshman. And I was a Seasons of Love soloist, and there were some seniors that weren't cast, and they were
Ooh.
pissed.
Oh, whatever. To those seniors,
Fuck
Katie
you.
fucking rocks it. She's got the
Look where
voice of
she
a
is
goddamn
now.
angel. Like,
That's very
relax.
nice. Anyway, so I was so traumatized by that experience freshman year that I had to step away, and I like haven't listened to
Oh
it
wow!
since
Yikes!
like now.
You got, like,
like
a-
whenever it came on, I was like, I can't do this.
I can't. I'm not ready.
You both sort of have like personal connections to the show that like go well beyond.
Well, see, I think like any theater person like
has that.
everyone that I knew was obsessed with Rent. And like
Everybody.
Seasons of Love is saying at like every concert that you'll ever do.
Oh, yeah.
Every karaoke,
Yep.
like, it's
Yeah,
just,
like
it's
Take Me or Leave
so-
Me. Every karaoke is Take Me or Leave
Yeah.
Me. Like
It really is. And
Karaoke's
it's
are you guys
it's
going to?
very overwhelming
Musical
at
theater
times
karaoke.
because, like, that carpool karaoke episode that
Yeah,
when they played
with
it and
Audra.
with Audra and Lin Manuel and
Wait,
everybody.
they did? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, no, it was a Tony
was
special and it was really, really great. But the second he played Seasons of Love, everyone was
the first fucking chord,
the
"Da!"
first.
and you know exactly it's Seasons of Love.
Oh, and everyone just melts.
Bum, bum.
And like I get it, but to me it's so overplayed.
Yeah,
It was, but now I'm kind of getting back
into
into
it,
it. But it freaking was. It was like freaking Let It Go.
It's
Like
a
it was
br-
just
Oh,
everywhere.
yeah.
I mean, it's a brilliant song. It's
I think it's a
amazing
high
song.
Seasons of Love.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
beautiful. Like so many songs in the show are beautiful. Like there's a reason it was so popular.
Yeah,
You know, it's
right.
an amazing show for sure. But
Just okay. So like just to
it's
summarize,
long as hell.
so to summarize, you are just what I usually say. You think the Broadway one is too long, but the movie is good.
Yeah.
Is that
And I
fair?
think the Broadway show is good. Like if I hadn't seen the movie, I would have liked the Broadway show.
Yeah.
But having the abridged version, still getting the
I like
gist,
that
like
you say abridged.
it's so much shorter and not everything. It's hard when everything is sung. I don't know,
Yeah.
Well, because
We'll get into it.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Dan.
How do you
I I don't know where to start. So I have like a personal connection with Seasons of Love because it like throughout my childhood it was there's at the high school that I went to there's a Pops concert, which is essentially a talent show, and at the end of it every class sings Seasons of Love. It's
Of
like a
course.
nice rites of passage sort of thing. And so like I was going, my brother and sister went to the same high school, so I had
cute.
been hearing Seasons of Love at a concert once a year since I was like 7 years old. And then I got to high school and I got to sing the song. So it was like a very emotional thing for me, and I'd never actually attached it to the show.
Cute.
And so I watched the show for the first time to attach it to, and I was deeply disappointed.
I was like, it detached you,
Oh
didn't it?
my
It
God.
detached you.
Like, listen, I actually like I enjoyed it a little. Like it was, I had some fun. There's some scenes in here where I'm like, oh, this is awesome. Like Olivia Boheme was really fun. Take Me or Leave Me was really fun. But is it? I guess we'll learn in a minute. But like, it felt like an opera at some points where they were like
Well,
singing
I
the
think
dialogue.
a lot of people categorize it as a rock opera.
Yeah, technically
to some sense.
Oh my
I
God,
don't.
too much.
But people do.
Well,
So
we'll get into Nerd Alert and we'll explain.
Yeah, for sure. I think in general, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the theme of it. I think it's very similar. It has very, like, thematically very similar to La La Land, which was our last episode. Because it's about, starving for your art and, like, striving for your art and not selling out. And then that sort of weird balance for, like, once you have made it, are you still doing your art, right? Or have you sold out? So it's sort of those same themes, which those really resonate with me really strongly. But the trappings around it, I was just like, ugh. Like that scene with Angel, and I loved Angel as a character because I like anything that's gonna like build up transgender in any sort of way to destigmatize it. But I hated that scene so much when he's the Santa Claus.
The Today for You.
Yes. Oh my God.
Santa Claus.
I was like, this is exhausting.
That's like when Angel's like. Angel,
yeah, it's
character introduction in the show.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was sort of pandering. Like well, we should get into it later, but I think you saw Angel throughout the show as just like a normal person. Like it's a transgender person just living a normal life. And in that one, it was like him being her being a drag queen, like sort of beating you over the head with a drag queen. And I was like, eh.
See, I thought that about the Pussy Galore, maybe.
What's that?
When they're breaking back into the apartment. And like on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And Collins comes out and he's James Bond, and Angel turns around and I'm Pussy Galore.
Yeah, that's
when I was just like, I would have liked to seen something different. But at the same time it works, so I'm not like mad about it.
Yeah, so I liked it, but I was definitely disappointed by this like I melt when I hear that song. I'm like, oh, this is such a nice memory.
Yeah.
I was not satisfied with its origin.
Did you see the movie as well, or just the live version?
I only watched the movie. And then I listened to only half.
I told him to listen to.
I only got through
That's
half.
okay to get the vibe.
Yeah.
I told him to listen to the Broadway show.
Which, what was interesting about the original cast recording is I was listening to it on the way here, and there's so much dialogue in it. Sung that it's like the whole fucking show. Like you don't need to see the show.
That's funny because
literally,
it's
literally a rock opera.
It's a rock
Is
opera.
it?
No,
That's what I
it's
thought.
what it
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
But it's funny because watching it with Ben last night, just to like refresh myself, he was just like, wait, can we go back? And he said it at least 12 times because he would miss things.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I totally get it.
But also, no, we can't go back.
Yeah, but
Fuck
like,
you.
I'm just gonna explain to you what happened rather than go back. So we'll pause it.
Nice. All right. Well, I think it's about time for 3, 2, 1. You don't have to know what that is.
That was so cute.
It's cute.
It has taken
We're cute.
so long for us to get that down. I can't tell you.
It's easier when we're in the same room.
It is. I spent like the first 8 episodes doing it by myself, and then Katie would behind, like right after me. No, nerd alert.
I can see that.
Admittedly, though, I never like told her I was gonna do it.
Yeah,
I
you're just
like started
you
doing
just be
it.
a little jerko.
All right, yeah, hit me with some nerd alert. Well, I hit myself with some more Dave Matthews.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so Rent
can
is a rock musical.
Oh no, it says 2 hot dogs in a pickup, and there's a story about 2 hot dogs.
Don't worry. As part of the segment in the show, we will be reading.
I don't understand.
In fact, you know what, Katie? Give me a moment.
All right. All right, we interrupt this nerd alert broadcast.
Interrupt this nerd alert. You know what? I'll give it away. I was gonna do a where in the world is Tony Bando, but I think instead of doing that, I do a bit where I just update the listeners on where Antonio Banderas is.
That's actually pretty cool because you never know where the fuck
No
he
idea,
is.
no idea. But I think
He's
I'll.
not doing anything anymore.
I'm gonna save it for next episode because the sort of spoiler alert, he's doing nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 hot dogs. Wait, should I say it like Dave Matthews? How does he sing?
I don't know.
What's what?
I don't
Crash in the air. 2 hot dogs in a pickup. A hot day, 2 dogs chase a stick, throw it into a pod. Again and again, the older, slower dog never gets the stick. Amounts at the effort, but always goes in. Maybe this time.
What the fuck?
And then that's attributed to Dave Matthews himself. What the fuck?
Yeah, I read it earlier and I was like, Dan, what wine did you get?
What the fuck?
What is this?
And then there's just like a picture of 2 dogs.
Of
in a
2
pickup.
dogs in a pickup truck.
It's hot dogs, like they're temperature.
Oh,
hot.
see, I took
It's a hot day.
I
Oh,
yeah.
took it as dachshunds because those are hot dogs.
That could be. It could be.
Hot
Could be.
You know.
All right, what you got for nerd alert?
All right, here we go again. Here we go. Rent is a Rock opera /
But-
musical with music, lyrics, and book by Jonathan Larson.
Oh, it's a book.
So
R.I.P.
it is based on Puccini's opera La Boheme. So that's why it feels like an opera,
that's
because it is literally
La
taken
vie
from an
boheme.
opera.
Some people don't know that. They think Rent's super
They think it's just
original,
a
and I'm
orig-
like, it's really
Like,
not.
no. Even like melodies like are lifted
straight,
from
like,
it.
straight taken.
We
from
should
it.
maybe do that just so I can get the background. But I know we don't do operas per se, but maybe we should do that
could talk about it a
someday.
little bit.
Anyway,
Ooh, we love the opera. Anyway, so so the original opera tells a story about like struggling artists in France with tuberculosis and just it's exactly the same. And so this takes a group of impoverished young artists struggling in New York with AIDS in the East Village and Bohemian Alphabet City, and like La Vie Boheme is like exactly from the opera. Like it's all so that's why it feels like an opera, and it's long as frick because it's taken from an opera.
2.5 hours, just so you know.
yeah, it is. You know what though? This was the
very long.
first. Wait, the opera or this?
The
Broadway.
Oh, but the movie. Yeah, the movie's about that. This is actually
hours.
honestly the first time that I wasn't like, this is too long. I honestly,
I think
because
the
I
movie
feel that
like
way about every
speeds,
musical.
like eclipse.
Yeah.
I think the movie's great.
All right.
The musical was foreseen in a workshop production at New York Theater Workshop in 1993, and then moved off Broadway in 1996, and moved to Broadway later that year because it was just too popular. They needed more space for seats. So it went to Broadway in 1996. But Jonathan Larson, the show's creator, died like very suddenly the night before it went to Broadway.
Yeah.
So he never got to see like the success of it.
That's super disappointing.
He had an
It was-
aneurysm.
Oh, okay.
He had just like a very sudden, like it was
That's-
his time
he
to
did
go.
have AIDS though, didn't he?
I don't think so. I think he had a lot
I
of friends
heard-
with
That's
AIDS.
kind of
okay.
that's kind of like I kind of love that a little bit.
It's
because
like very like opera too.
Yeah,
like it's very like
it's
old.
because like the whole show is about like you want to do your art,
Yeah,
but
before he
what's
could become a sellout.
the,
He
exactly, and you kind of just want you want to be immortalized
Died.
in
But also, I
death.
don't agree with like being a sellout. Like money is important.
I know. I'm just saying it.
so much about that.
I just think it fits with the
Totally.
show, with the
Totally.
theme of the show.
Totally. So Rent was very popular, lots of critical acclaim, won a ton of awards. It won Tony Awards for Best Book, Best Musical, Best Score, and Best Featured Actor for the person that played Angel. Yes.
God, that man is a sexy man. I'll tell you
Because,
what.
ooh
I've
la la.
almost never said that about a
Let
man.
me tell you something. I will give a
Ooh.
shout out right now to my friend Lewis because he just did a musical called Pedro Pan, and that actor, I cannot remember his
Oh,
name
how
right now,
exciting.
was his dad. And
What?
my friend Lewis played Angel in the production that we did. So it was
Aw.
like such a full circle
Whoa.
moment
That's
for
so
him.
cute.
It was great. And he would snap me of him all the time, and I'm like, ugh, jealous.
That's amazing.
So you're talking
Yeah.
about the guy that was in the movie, right? The angel in the
Yes,
movie.
the
Yeah, okay.
original
I didn't know
yeah.
if there was like a different way.
Most
Okay.
of the people, well, we'll get to it. So yeah, it doesn't matter.
If you can just
So
if you can just make sure because
Sorry.
you're yeah.
So
thank
it
you.
grossed over 280 million. It closed in when did it close? 2016. So nope, that's wrong.
I was like, that's very wrong.
It closed
That was
last year.
September 2008. Sorry about
Okay.
that. It closed in 2008 after a 12-year run. Anyway, it won also a Pulitzer Prize.
Oh wow.
And so the movie happened in 2005, which had much of the original cast. Just Mimi and Joanne were the only two that were different, which
Okay.
I think they're better. Sorry.
Right.
Ooh.
I'm not a fan of the original Mimi.
The original Mimi's voice is atrocious.
It's like cat scratching my eyes.
Me,
Because she
me,
works
me,
at
me.
the Cat Scratch Club.
Oh, Mimi is Rosario Dawson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rosario
Oh, yeah.
Dawson nails it, and
It
she's
is
like
super
so
annoying.
And you know what? She
And her voice is amazing.
looked it. She played it so
She's amazing.
well.
Also, she is incredibly attractive.
And,
Yeah,
the-
she's beautiful.
the
Super
woman
attractive.
who played the Joanne.
Joanne.
I cannot remember her name right now, but she was.
Ruben.
She was also.
No.
She was also in the live stage production.
Oh, okay.
For a while.
Oh,
and
okay.
She
Yeah.
killed it there, and then she killed it in the movie.
Yeah,
It
she's
was-
great.
it was great.
She's really
like,
great.
working a lot lately. I forget what I just saw her in.
She's in a lot of things.
I love that she doesn't look like a musical theater person to me. She looks like a lawyer, and then all of a sudden she's fucking awesome.
Do you know I
She's
randomly,
fucking wailing.
She was randomly on an episode of Catfish.
Why?
I'm not kidding.
Was
I
she
think-
catfish?
Did she
No,
get
well, yes,
catfish?
she did. I think someone.
What?
I think. I'm not
Oh,
kidding.
someone pretended
I
to be
think
her.
a fan. No, I think a fan of hers was like reaching
Oh,
out, and she
no.
like became close with this fan, and the fan turned out to be catfishing her. It was
Oh,
such a weird
no.
episode,
That's
and I was
so
just like,
weird.
"What is she doing
That's
on this
so
show?"
weird.
Yikes!
Yeah.
That's a terrible show.
The film was adapted into a movie and directed by Christopher Columbus. That's a fact.
He also did something with Harry Potter.
He
Chris
did. He
Columbus.
did
Did the
the
first.
first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think is great. I like him.
Yeah.
His son went to high school.
I don't like his
My brother.
namesake,
Okay.
the original Chris Columbus, but
Yeah. But this new one is better.
the second variety is really better.
So yeah, we've talked about it, but Rent has had like millions of productions all over the world. It's toured everywhere. It's been everywhere. Colleges do it. There's like a school version that's like
Oh.
edited and has like
That's gotta be terrible.
no way. It's like why even do Rent?
Yeah, because kids should know about disease.
I know. Like that's just it's like so insulting.
Yeah, that's
like
what the
I
whole
became so obsessed with this in 2005. I wasn't even out of middle school. Like I don't know. Like you can
Yeah.
handle this
Right.
stuff.
Yeah,
This is-
absolutely.
Anyway, it's
Maybe if
just-
we had more resilient children, we wouldn't have such terrible adults in this country.
That's super true. So I think that's everything to cover.
Hmm.
It's very wonderful. Everyone is obsessed. Every musical
Yes.
theater kid like is obsessed.
In many ways,
You have to go through a Rent phase.
It's all
Yeah.
every single person. Like my sisters went through it. My cousin went through it.
Yeah.
Everyone just loves Rent, and I just kind of am like, call me when you're over it.
It's like
Been there, done
yeah,
that.
when you love Rent too much, it's like,
I'm
oh,
just
I
like,
get it.
I
Like
get
you're
it.
new to
Yeah,
musicals.
like this is a Euro baby.
Yeah.
It's like saying your favorite musical is Wicked. It's like, all right.
Yeah,
It's
and
really
Wicked,
good.
Wicked is wonderful. Like,
it's
I'm
very
gonna
good,
see it
but
when
like,
it comes.
we gotta
here, but-
diversify.
That's interesting.
our
I didn't because I
interests.
expected you guys to say that Rent is like one of those iconic
It definitely
staples.
is
It
one of those
is,
iconic
but
staples.
it's
but you get
very
over it.
tired.
But it's a fad a little bit.
But it's a little
tired.
bit of like a teenage phase.
Yeah.
It's like the Miley Cyrus of musicals.
Yeah, or
There's
like
some
when you're like
substance there,
a
but-
die-hard like Green Day or Blink-182 fan, and then,
Oh
like,
yeah, it's your emo phase.
you know, yeah,
All right.
it's like
It's
your
de- yeah,
It's your emo
Rent is
phase.
definitely your musical theater emo phase.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I was a little bit surprised to hear that because I really genuinely expected you to say that it was like Sound of Music or like
No,
I
it's
don't know.
definitely on par, and it will be famous forever. And
Right.
It will be like taught. Excuse me, forever. It'll be revived forever. Like it's a huge deal.
okay.
It was a huge cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know.
It's not, well, I mean, it's kind of like Phantom.
It's just
of
kind
the-
of embarrassing to like really love
Yeah,
Rent now.
it's true. It's
That
kind
makes
of like
sense.
Phantom of the Opera, though. It's never, ever gonna go away. Phantom
Yeah.
is still on Broadway now.
Yeah.
It's
Jesus.
just never,
Okay.
Phantom Forevs.
never going
Rent
away.
Forevs.
Awesome. Well, that was a great nerd alert. That's a lot of surprising things there. Wait, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Nerd
alerted.
You two are too cute.
There's a lot more
This
of
is
those.
ridiculously
Just
amazing.
prepare yourself for a lot
We have
more.
fun.
All right, should we jump in?
Let's dive right in.
Dive right in.
And now, for your feature presentation, it's the synopsis.
All right, so we start. Bum 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 bum. I feel that's the song. I'm not doing a bit here. I'm
That's
just
not
gonna
how the
sing
musical
the song.
starts.
No, but I'm just noticing.
That's how this
you're
one
like,
starts.
You do the one shoulder dance.
One
move
shoulder
when
shimmy.
You're like going
Bum,
into it.
Bum 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 bum. Lead with your shoulder. That's what I always say. But that's how
Welcome
the
to
show.
club,
That's how the
shoulder
movie
shoulder.
starts.
That's how the movie starts, but in the Broadway show,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
the
Of Love
intermission.
opens Act 2.
Opens at 2.
Right.
Which I find, and I wrote this down because I was taking notes last night watching it. I think it's a very strange place for it.
Yes, I think.
Yeah, I understand. I guess like I get it. The thing is, a lot of the things that I'll say about this musical, I understand why it is the way that it is. I just think that Seasons of Love is it's one of the more powerful songs in the musical, and it would be such a great closer.
Yeah.
Or such a great opener.
And
I think it's so weirdly placed right after intermission. I mean,
actually feel like it's the song itself. I feel like they wrote that song and they were like, "This song's fucking awesome. Doesn't fit in the show anywhere, but we're gonna do it." Like it doesn't fit.
It's
I
just
don't
about
think
it.
so.
It's
Because
just
the thing
about
is,
it.
it's
A little
about
bit.
love, to be honest, and I don't think that's the main point.
No,
of
not
this
at all.
musical
Not at all. I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
They all love each other.
No,
so
They
I
all
think
love
they
each
all love
other.
each other, but I don't think that's the central basis of
Yeah.
like the plot of the musical.
By the way,
do.
it's a shitty mic, so if the closer you can get, the better. I'm
Is this
sorry.
better?
Yes, thank you. It's a shitty mic. I agree. Yeah, I don't think it's about love in general. Like, I think the theme of it is sort of starving for your craft. I think that's like the main.
But isn't that because you love your craft?
That's fair. Yeah, all right. You
I
got
don't know.
me there.
I think it's
Yeah.
there's so many things going on with the musical. Because there are so many people that are like
But I
out there that are like, oh, Rent, the musical about AIDS, right? And I'm like,
oh, yeah, it was
well,
more
I
about
mean,
AIDS,
it's not
yeah.
about AIDS,
Yes.
but it's a heavy subject in the movie.
Right.
And then there's also drugs, there's sex.
Yeah.
And I know that you listened to the recording, Dan,
Half of
right?
it.
Half of it. Okay. So there's that song Contact.
Did you get to Contact?
No.
Did you get to Contact?
It's a sex
No.
song.
It's just about
it's often
sex.
cut out.
Oh.
And
They started off with sweat, sweet,
wet, red.
Oh my god.
It's
And then
really
it's
embarrassing.
literally, it's a recording, and they do it, and it's
It
like
embarrasses
harder,
me.
better, faster. It's just like
Whoa.
It
such a.
embarrasses
It's a
me.
very sexual song.
I'm gonna have to listen to that.
and it's
Put
such
those
an
headphones
awkward
on, light a
song.
I'm
candle.
very sex positive now, and that song like still like makes like
makes-
10-year-old me like
I know, like
I can't listen to
I
it. It's
can't
like,
do
ooh.
it. Recording it when we
Audio
did it
porn.
in college was
Embarrassed.
so
we just
awkward.
did it live, and it was so
Oh, we
weird.
recorded
And we
it.
were all in
Did?
like our underwear, and it was so weird.
Ooh, what? Wait, what age?
When I was in college doing
Oh,
the show.
thank God. I
Yeah.
thought it was high school. I was like, that is
no,
not appropriate.
That's
No, everyone was full adults.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
But
Consenting
I don't
adult.
think high schools perform this musical as often.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I consented to it.
all
I
right.
think I
Fair.
had to do it.
Yeah, fair.
If I had
But-
to choose, I wouldn't have been in that.
But
Anyway,
yeah, so the
no,
movie.
I think everything in this show like boils down to love, though. I do. I really think that is an argument that can be made.
Yeah, I can't
The
argue with
love,
that.
like the relationships are so central.
yeah.
Like the relationships between these people, like these romantic relationships and these friend relationships, and like then like love of your art and love of
yeah.
drugs and being addicted, or like love of like this lifestyle or anything. Like it's
Yeah.
all
That's a valid point.
Yeah, I think if you were arguing that it's about the love relationships, then I disagree. But love, like sort of with everything,
general,
I can
yeah.
as like
I
a
get-
universal
Yeah,
and
I
also
get
like
behind
between
that.
Collins and Angel and
Yeah.
Maureen and Joanne and Mark and Roger and Mimi, like that's the plot.
Right.
Like it's about them figuring out their relationships.
Well, I think it's about
and
them
then all
figuring
these
out their
other factors
lives.
come in.
Is it-
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
so-
figuring out your lives, but
Right.
like the relationships are very
Yeah, absolutely.
integral.
Integral. So yeah, but in the movie at least we open with Scenes of Love, and I swear
Yeah,
to
which
God,
I agree. That's a good place for
Yeah,
it.
it makes
I think
sense.
it's a beautiful
Because
place
the
for
Broadway show just starts with like the tune-up, which is so
December 24th.
Oh
5
yeah,
p.m.
yeah, that was weird.
like Mark,
That was
shut up.
yeah.
Shut up. Shut up.
Put your damn camera down, you creep.
You whiny little man.
Take a nap.
Oh, Maureen won't fuck me anymore? Fuck
Oh,
off, Mark.
man.
Oh God,
Also,
I'm
can I-
picking up that you guys don't like Mark.
Mark
It's-
sucks.
No, he's the dumbest.
It's not gonna
person.
work very
He's
well
such
later.
a whiny little boy.
For
He
one of our
is,
bits.
and then like he's always he's so like controlling in a sense. He's always looking at
Yeah.
Roger, and I get it's like out of good faith, but he's always like, "Take her easy, T. Take her easy, T. You need to go
Yeah.
after her. How did you leave her? I'm like, go find
live your
a
own
life
damn
of your
life.
own.
I mean, well,
Which is
I-
like
Find
the
a
point.
love of your own.
Well, I kinda-
Everyone's like, you're not like living life, you're behind a lens. But it's like, Mark,
filming from
shut up.
I kind of liked that because like I felt like Mark, you could sort of look at through a lens at this whole everything that happens is sort of Mark is the director of it. You know,
Well,
like,
that's
he's not
why
part
I
of
think
it.
I think that's why he breaks
It's a
that
good
fourth
device.
wall
Like, it
so
makes sense.
much.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
like he's always addressing the audience, and he's
Right.
always introducing everybody. And I think it's because he himself is directing this whole
Yeah.
thing.
And
I'd
I've
like
heard
to
it said that Jonathan Larson like wrote Mark as him.
Right.
Oh.
That he always felt like he was on the outside of
Yeah,
his
that
friends
makes
and like
sense.
didn't have
So we were
relationships or whatever.
in the opening scene. They're panning through all the people on stage. And I was like, "What the fuck are these people singing to nobody?" Like, it just was like, here's a random fucking scene of
They
people
broke into a Broadway theater.
and just jammed. And I swear to God, I thought that the guy that plays the AZT guy,
Roger.
the guy that plays Roger, I thought
Adam Pascal.
Adam Pascal.
I've seen him.
I
live.
straight up thought that was John Bon Jovi immediately, and I was like, nope, turning that off. Turning this off if that is Bon Jovi. I will
I
not.
quit.
I don't think Bon Jovi's been
No,
on Broadway.
he's the guy. He was in School of Rock.
Oh, was
yeah,
He was in the rock band that
he was the rock
Dewey
band.
was fired from.
Oh,
That's him.
That's
Yo,
fun.
man, I'm
Also in a
homesick.
in a Broadway sense, for those who know, he was also Radames in Aida.
Oh my god, amazing!
And
so
I
sexy.
saw him and
oh,
Heather
I'm so
Headley.
jealous. Oh, I'm so
The
jealous.
whole original cast, it was amazing. Amazing.
I know exactly
I
what you're
mean,
talking
He's
about.
touring in the Shakespeare one.
He's lovely.
He's great.
That's interesting because I didn't like him, but we can talk about that later.
His voice is like a little annoying, but he's
He
so
kind of goes
fine.
sharp a lot.
Well, I just think
it.
Roger as a character is just the biggest Debbie Downer I've
Yeah.
ever seen in a musical.
Such an Eeyore.
He's so
Yes.
just like, and I mean, I get it.
Like AIDS is
AIDS
hard.
is serious. It's hard. I get it. But like, he's just like, I'm not leaving, and I hate everything.
It's like a
about
little
life.
stereotypical,
I used to
like,
see
oh,
you
my
out and about.
girlfriend like slit her wrist in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And
like,
she
so
left
sad.
me with AIDS.
We have left a note that said, "We have AIDS." Like,
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
but like,
What the
but
fuck?
also we're talking about this now when like a diagnosis of AIDS like is still
Back
very
then,
serious, but it's
yeah.
not the death sentence that it like was.
was,
back then.
yeah.
Like the
Right.
culture around AIDS, like thankfully, is very different now.
It used to be you just wait to die.
It was just
essentially.
like
Yeah.
you're a dirty, awful, like gross human
Person.
being punished by God, and like you're gonna die, which is like obviously like not the fucking case.
Yeah.
But I like it makes sense to be so emo about it,
Right.
which
Yeah.
like is what makes Angel like such a source of light.
Yeah, because
Is
she's
it's,
just
like,
I don't
teaching
care.
people, like,
he or she.
no, like,
depending
you
on
can
what they
still,
do.
like,
You can live your
live
life.
Yeah.
You can still do it.
You know they still do that in Cuba. The people with AIDS, I'm not kidding. This is not a goof. They
no.
actually put them in a separate like it's like a concentration camp. But here's the side. Here's the upside. People actually infect them. I'll probably cut this because it's really sad, but it's interesting. People actually infect themselves with AIDS because the life that they're given by the government in this like camp is way better than the life they can have for themselves. outside.
damn.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so sad.
Like really
That is
great
sad.
that these people with AIDS get a great life and can fucking
Or just
bone
life
whoever they
in
want
Cuba
because they
is
all
such
have
a-
AIDS. But like at the same time, it's really weird. It's like a weird.
Well, I mean, did
bittersweet
you know
thing.
that like AIDS? I think I read or heard. I can't remember which one it was, but like AIDS is super heavy in like elderly homes these days.
Oh really? Because
yeah,
like,
because they're all
it.
fucking
'Cause
each
they-
other. at,
I'm
like,
80 and I
older
can still
ages.
get a boner.
Like, I'm really sorry to anyone who probably has a grandmother in a home, but she's probably fucking
she's getting
every grandfather
down.
on
I mean,
the
good.
premise.
Yeah,
Enjoy
hell
the
yeah.
rest of
I
your
mean, yeah,
days.
good for them. But yeah, I think I heard somewhere that it's a super high risk in
That's-
elderly.
oh yeah, I've heard that too. I
my
like that in
gosh.
high school. If you're like a really good football player, you're the sexiest bachelor. But in the old people's home, it's just if you can still get a boner. Like
Whoever's got
Roger
the
gets
biggest
boners 4
Viagra
times a week.
Prescription.
Huh?
Whoever has the biggest Viagra prescription.
Yeah, I guess they'd probably do just all think about it.
Yeah.
All right, then we move to Rent. Right, then we're into the title song. It's a fucking Yellow Card song. Like what the
I
fuck?
used to rock out
Yeah,
so
but I
fucking
rocked
hard
out
to this
so
song.
hard to that song, like in
How
the production.
do you
Yeah,
document
I real life when real life's getting more like fiction each day.
You guys really
So
like that
I
song.
memorized every
oh,
line
yeah.
of this musical.
I have too. But
I
you
did
know
not
what's
like it.
fun? It's so much fun to perform. Let me tell
Yeah.
you, I was rocking
It's
the
so
top
silly.
level of our set, and my one leg was over the bar.
Oh my God, it's so fun.
And I was just like waving my curly hair like angry as fuck at everybody, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm not gonna pay shit. And
Well-
then I'm just like, yeah, Red, I'm so
Let me tell you from an outsider's
Such a fun song.
I mean, it's nerdy as hell.
yeah, from an outsider's perspective, that's exactly the song that people who like are like, I'm not so sure about musical theater. They watch you guys do that on stage and just go, I don't like this.
Totally.
I'm very
Yeah,
It's
uncomfortable.
embarrassing.
Absolutely. It is a horrifying experience sometimes because you're just like I looked back, my mom wonderfully recorded this and put it on YouTube. There is video footage of
We
me
might have to
doing
link
this.
that. We might have to tweet that out.
And
we do have 500
she-
followers.
I watched it because I watched it last night after watching Rent, and I was like, dear mother of God, what am I doing? Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, I can imagine it's still super
But like
fun,
in that
though.
moment,
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, it's so
hardcore
fun.
balls to the walls,
And I'm
like
sh-
enjoying my
like,
life.
yeah,
I'm sure
I'm
your
not gonna
directors
pay
were
rent.
like,
Yeah.
I'm sure your directors were like, yeah, get angry.
Yeah,
like
like,
they
it's
loved
rock and
it.
roll.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like we studied like so much like punk rock for the show.
Really?
God,
Like,
yes.
It's very punk.
It's
Ugh, burp. It's very punk rock.
so punk rock. Though my favorite part of this is like I felt like very cool and edgy when I learned that rent also means torn apart. So in the last line of the show, when they're like, "We're not gonna pay rent because everything is rent," I like
Yeah, what does
felt
that
very smart
mean?
because rent means torn apart.
Torn apart.
Oh, it does? Like
Yeah.
to be rent is to be like torn up?
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I was like,
Oh,
wow.
Dan, you look like a little baby.
I didn't know
Isn't
that.
it cool when you're like, whoa, like everything is rent?
Yeah, because I heard that line and I was like, oh, that's fucking cop out. Everything is rent. What the fuck do you mean? Like, just say rented.
Because it's
That's
torn
cool.
apart.
I like that.
also,
That
like,
makes it a little better.
That song like gives me a little bit. I don't know how it feels. It just makes me feel that like nothing has ever changed ever. Like
Yeah.
if 25-year-olds, like people in their early 20s are feeling like exactly the same way as we
you
are
do.
now.
Yeah,
about, like
right, yeah.
the government sucks. Like
Yep.
everything sucks. Like no one's
Nothing
getting taken care of.
changes.
Well, it's super relevant though when you like break down the lyrics and then it's just like that whole middle part where it's just like, how can you connect in an age where strangers, landlords, lovers, your own blood cells betray?
You really know the
Love binds the
song.
fabric together when the raging shifting
I'm sorry,
winds
listeners.
of
They just need to
change
get this
keep
out of their
ripping
system.
away. It's just like
Draw a line in the sand and then make a stand.
Yeah,
Use
go ahead.
your guitar when they act tough. You call their bluff. We're not gonna
Just let them have it. Just let them have this moment,
Like,
listeners.
But it's true because like it's so hard to connect in this age sometimes.
Yes.
It's
With
so
our cell
hard
phones?
With our cell phones,
Millennial.
we are going off the rails.
right? But like
Everyone
even with
just
like
felt the exact same way forever.
with
Like, the
everyone's
human
like
experience
political
does not
views
change.
Yeah.
on everything like feminism and treatment of anything like that's why this musical will never die. It's
Yeah.
so relevant
Until the
to
world
so
is a
many
better, is
things.
actually better.
Yeah,
It probably
I mean,
will be
right.
relevant.
It's literally the same as like 100-year-old opera.
Yeah,
Like
right.
people have been feeling this way for forever.
So surprise, it's never gonna get
Yeah.
better.
So surprised. This is what being a human is.
So
Very cool.
If you find this podcast 20 years from now, no, it stays the same.
it's
Yeah.
everything is the same. Also, just kind of getting back to the plot, to the movie.
Getting back
You guys
to
feel
it.
free to sing as much as you want, but
Oh, that's a dangerous
that is
thing
a
to
I
say.
will.
that was a goof. No, that is a badass apartment that they live in. Can we just talk about that? Like, sure,
It's
it's
like
in
a
a shitty
beautiful
area.
freaking loft.
It's just the most
Gorgeous.
beautiful loft.
Also, there were
in
so
New
many
York?
articles that like came out a couple of years ago about like how like spoiled these rent people are, and they're like, "Oh, you got your apartment for rent free,
Right.
And like, you don't expect you have to pay rent. Like, what the fuck is that? You spoiled
Yeah.
brats."
You and Mark like has parents he could go back to. He
Yes!
just won't. Like, all right.
Yeah, well, that's
spoiled.
the thing. That's one of the reasons why I don't understand Mark in general. I'm like, you clearly have two loving Jewish parents
He
at
feels
home.
so guilty.
Like,
I know.
go the fuck home if you need to.
He just
Yeah.
wants to like be.
He does. He wants to be like,
This is my
super cool.
choice. So then,
sucks.
so we're throwing flaming garbage into the streets during Rent, and
not
then
gonna
That's right. They do that in the movie.
Yeah.
I forgot. Everything is, they start burning the papers
burning the
and letting
eviction
it go.
notices.
I love it.
yeah, and then Tay Diggs shows up in his Range Rover.
sexy
fucking-
can I?
You know, I've
Yeah.
never been a Tay Diggs guy.
Oh my. Well,
leave.
You know,
leave. 'Cause he had fun fact for you, Daniel. Idina Menzel and Taye Diggs met when they were doing Rent on Broadway.
Do you mean a Delta Zima?
Yes, that is who we
So
mean.
a Delta Zima.
And they have beautiful children together,
Oh
but they
my
got
God, the
divorced
We did most
in a
beautiful
very
mixed
sad
children.
way.
Liv did tell me that they were married for like 10 years.
They were a
but-
beautiful
They
couple.
were a beautiful couple. They have beautiful mixed kids. As a mixed child, I was very jealous of them because I was just like, you have beautiful.
Also very
parents.
rich parents.
But yeah, but they're still like really cool with each other. I
They
think.
need to get back together.
Yeah, I'm all about it. But she
That is a cool
remarried.
couple.
That's not it.
She did. She
I didn't even know
she
that. So he doesn't
remarried
matter, and we're
recently
just-
too. And I'm like, but Taye Diggs is like
No, but Taye
chocolate.
Diggs is
He's
so
like
fine.
like
chocolate.
smooth chocolate.
He's so hot.
He's so good.
Yeah. I'm more of an Angel guy, personally.
Of course you are.
Respect.
I think Benny as a character is so flip floppy.
I was very confused, so I didn't, without knowing.
In what way do you mean?
Not in the movie. I think in the movie he sticks to his guns
Yeah.
more.
Sure.
In the musical, because I watched it last night, because I'm more familiar with the movie. I've seen it a few more times, but
What
in the
did you
musical,
What is happening? You're just making
I was
guttural
singing
fish
Benny's
noise.
part
singing
of
Benny's
Friends.
part. I got it. I understood you.
Just sounded like a fish. It sounded like a fish drowning somehow.
Well, that is not how Taye Diggs sounds. Let me
Fish
tell you
don't
right
drown. They live in water.
Danielle.
Exactly.
Damn it, Dad.
That's why it's a noise that has never been heard. Anyway, sorry.
There's a moment in the musical, and if anyone wants to see it, there is a full version of it on YouTube, and it's not a horrible production. The sound is too loud, but there's a moment where, spoiler, Angel dies, and at the funeral home, Collins, I think it's Mark or Roger, and Benny are just kind of sitting outside of the funeral place. And Benny turns around and all of a sudden, after being such a dick throughout the whole movie, is like, I'm going to pay for Angel's funeral. Don't worry about it, Collins. And he's like, all right, but you're like paying for the person who killed your dog. He's like, yeah, no, I'm fine with it. I hated that dog. And I'm like, okay. And then they have this it's a very sweet moment, but they have this moment of just like, we're cool with each other. And I'm just like, wait, what happened to the asshole who just like wanted to tear shit apart? They did.
That might
Isn't
be
that what Tick Tick Boom was about? It's about like Collins, like and Benny and everything.
It's not necessarily like technically the same characters, but it's like his life.
It's pretty much.
You might argue
also
that
his life.
you might argue that that's more realistic to like how life would be. Like no one is always a dick. Well, almost no one is like always a dick.
Of course.
So that version seems more realistic.
Yeah, it was just such a
Benny was nice to them. He was giving their apartment rent free for so long.
I guess that's true.
And then he was like, "Oh, my boss is making me make you pay." Like that's not his fault.
Well, yeah. Well, that's why I'm just like, why does everyone hate Benny? Because the offer that he gives them in the beginning is super. It's super great.
So reasonable.
And I
like,
so reasonable. And the thing is, that's why I understand the whole concept of living for your art in this musical.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and everybody knows this, and I think, to be honest, super far-fetched, but Bruno Mars was kind of like this. Bruno Mars made all these like cute like the lazy Sunday song that he did and everything, and now he's doing the music that he you're so good
Great
at that
song. I don't know.
and now he's doing like all this like cool funky jazz hip hop stuff, and
Getting
that's
back
you
to
can
his
tell
shit,
that's what he wants to do. But
I
he had to
believe
go
that.
through that stupid phase before getting through
your rent
this.
phase.
Yeah, your rent phase.
You have to go through your rent phase.
Your rent phase for sure.
To do the musicals you wanted to.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
And like I think that like for them to turn him down so hard was so dumb.
They're just a couple of like immature brats.
Also,
I'm like, but I'm also like, you guys have zero money. Why the fuck would you not want to like team up
and just like go to Maureen and be like, hey, just do it next week. Technically, we fulfilled our deal.
Do it like we'll like do a sneak attack and like fucking shut his shit down like later. It'll be a big thing and we'll have money to do it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that was really annoying.
I thought it was very strange of them to not want to do it. Also because like it's not like he was offering for them to be like salesmen in something completely out of their realm. He was like, we're gonna open up a music center where you guys can produce the stuff that you want. And they're like, no. And I'm like,
what do you mean?
Thanks for handing me my dreams, but I'd rather be basically homeless.
yeah, like
Because
I
it's more
didn't get it.
authentic.
I didn't get it.
Yeah,
but-
no, that is
Fucking
super
whiny
annoying. I totally
babies.
agree. But then we move to I love that sort of Ross from Friends moment where she's in love. What's his name? What is his
Joanne.
name? Joanne.
Oh, Joanne.
So good.
My
Yep.
wife is gay.
That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. It
That's
was
pretty
so
much.
good.
Also, I'm on my like 4th glass. guys.
Oh, you getting hammered?
Drink faster.
no, I'm just letting you know.
Good for you. Then we go into You'll See, which there's a line in here that is the classic porn line. He goes,
Oh, such
"There's one way you don't have to pay."
that.
Wait a minute.
Bam,
What, are you
bam.
gonna make him suck your dick?
Ow.
have to pay. Yes.
Like, oh boy, okay, is this gonna be a
Boner
porn?
alert. Right.
And then we cut to Angel catching up with Tom
Our
Collins,
homie Angel,
who got
who quit MIT.
Yeah. Well, no,
that's Tom Collins.
You're right.
Yeah, I actually don't understand how Angel has money, but apparently he or she
Well, it's
they
because
have
no,
money.
Killed the dog.
he killed
Well,
the dog.
just that one time though, they do that scene where
Well, that's what he
But
does.
that's the like bohemian way. Like you
That's like-
spend what you
yeah.
have now when you
Oh.
get it, and
and
you
then
help
you
your
get
friends,
more.
and then when
Yeah.
someone else gets them, they help you.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
all
why
right.
at the end, Collins like
No day but
rewires
today,
the-
Dan.
Oh yeah, that was
the
such a
ATM.
stupid ending, but we'll get to that.
No, but no day but today.
Yeah.
You know,
No day but
Oh.
today.
Wait,
you live for today. You
isn't
live
that
in the
the
moment.
Today
But isn't
for
that
you,
the one that they-
tomorrow for me.
Oh, now I get that song.
Wow.
Oh my God, I didn't. But we're not there yet.
Mind blown.
So I love the casual mention of going to group therapy or whatever. Like, I have AIDS. So do I. They're both like, yep, we have AIDS together. And then you cut to Roger, who also has AIDS. I didn't know this show was about AIDS, and I was like, why does everyone have AIDS? Like, what is happening? Is this gonna come back?
Except for Mark, that was the
Yeah. I think that'll do it for us here at the MusiPals. We're gonna end it on that cliffhanger. I guess if it's a cliffhanger, you probably shouldn't be listening to this episode. But thank you so much to everybody who's listening. We really appreciate it. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and tell your friends about us. Please, please, please. And thank you to Arcade Audio and the amazing shows on that network. Head on over to arcadeaudio.net to see what they've got to offer. You can find us on Twitter at the MusiPals, same name on Instagram, or on Facebook, the MusiPals Podcast. The next episode, which will be the second part of Rent, should go up, let's call it December 20th. That'll be the second episode of this Rent series. Again, thanks so much for listening. Bye.
Thank you for playing Arcade Audio. Play more at arcadeaudio.net.